Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a massive Call of Duty news video for you about Season 2 of Black Ops Cold War and Warzone, both of which are beginning on February 25th, which is about 1 week from the time that you'll see this video. There's loads of new stuff coming, new maps, new weapons, new modes, Warzone expansions, Zombies expansions, just a whole ton to break down today. You're mostly going to see screenshots of the new stuff, a mix of Warzone gameplay, which is what you've seen so far, and of course the full multiplayer trailer, which I'm playing right now without audio so we don't get a strike. Do keep in mind that Season 2 integrates both Black Ops Cold War and Warzone, so it's a new season for both of those games, and there's a lot of overlap between the two. We're mixing in Zombies with Warzone, Zombies with multiplayer, we're mixing in Cold War with Warzone, and vice versa, and things are starting to get a little bit complicated here. So let's start off with the multiplayer updates. We've got 3 brand new maps coming, and a 4th strike map, we'll call it. The first map is called Apocalypse. It's a 6v6 map. It's set in a small Buddhist temple somewhere in Laos. This is one of the ones that goes live day 1 with the Battle Pass, so that'll be like the singular new multiplayer map you get that day, and it appears to be a smaller, more aggressive, SMG-heavy kind of map. The next map that we're going to get is called Golova. It is a multi-team map set in Russia, and it appears to be a fire team dirty bomb kind of map with 10 teams of 4, and it also appears to have a significant underground section that they're teasing with some kind of zombies lore or something like that in it. And do keep in mind that this is going to be important because we're going to come back to it in just a minute. Next up we have Mansion, which is a small gunfight map, or 3v3 at most, coming later in the season. It looks very similar to the Mansion map from Black Ops 4, so maybe it'll be like that. And then finally we get Miami Strike 6v6, which is coming later in the season, and I think this is one of those things that it's about time. I'm one of those people that doesn't mind playing on Miami. I think Miami's a great map for big team modes, but on 6v6 it's a little bit too big, so if we could shrink it down just a little, I think Miami might end up being a fantastic map. The map offerings are a little bit sparse, but there's just so much more coming. There are 6 new weapons coming. The first 2 are going to be in the Battle Pass. That's the Farah 83 Assault Rifle. It is a super high fire rate Galil looking kind of weapon. It kind of looks like an FFAR or Groza on steroids. I'm assuming it's going to have high recoil and low damage, but probably a good overall time to kill because of that fire rate. After that, you've got the LC-10 SMG, which is described as having a low fire rate, but long range, good damage over range, and excellent accuracy. So to me, this is kind of sounding like a Black Ops 2 MSMC, and that's kind of what I've got my hopes pegged on. I don't really mind it. If the damage is high enough and the time to kill is even remotely competitive, then it is an SMG that I intend to use. Moving along, there's the Machete, which this is very interesting. It's classified as a special weapon and not a melee weapon. I do not know why it's classified differently from the other basic melee weapons, which are essentially knife skins. So I'm assuming that the Machete does something special, something different, interesting. It might even have like longer melee range or like Commando Pro built into it. We don't know for sure. There is a regular melee weapon coming in this 6-weapon bundle called the E-Tool, so we'll have it. What's kind of like a combat shovel. It's like a standard military equipment that you can use to dig trenches with or beat people over the head. Then finally, 2 more weapons coming later in the season. We have the R1 Shadowhunter crossbow, which is described as being a long-range marksman-like kind of rifle, but oddly also described as having good hip fire. I don't exactly know all of the attachments for this one. I'm kind of hoping that we get some special tips like poison or a bomb, or like the tri-tip where we shoot 3 spreading crossbows at once. And I don't know how well this is going to integrate with Warzone, given the fact that Warzone already has one incredibly strong crossbow that people aren't using. So I don't know, maybe now I can finally make the double crossbow class of my dreams. We'll see. And then finally, the ZRG 20mm sniper rifle looks kind of like a Soviet designed weapon. And as it's described, they talk a lot about needing to get headshots to kill and super high mobility in and out of the combat really fast, reload really fast. It seems just kind of like a really lightweight headshot sniper, and these are not really the ones that I like, so I'm not super excited about this. And of course, the stats are almost certainly going to be different in Black Ops Cold War than they will be in Warzone, so that's like a whole bunch of different in-depths for different YouTubers to jump on and work out. But when we're doing Warzone, and the next week you'll get to see me run a double crossbow class, which will be fun. And speaking of Warzone, there's some pretty major updates coming to that mode too. There's a new mode called Zombies Outbreak, which is a large-scale zombies battle in Warzone. Oddly, it's classified as being under Warzone and under Zombies at the same time. To the best of my knowledge of everything that I've seen and what little bits you can see in the trailer, it kind of looks like a Warzone Zombies crossover, also with Fireteam Dirty Bomb, because the gameplay you see of it are of the operators riding around in Cold War vehicles on Fireteam Dirty Bomb, doing things with zombies on not just one, but it seems like all of the Fireteam Dirty Bomb maps. It could be the beginning of an entirely new Battle Royale experience. Treyarch could be getting ready to combine all of those Fireteam Dirty Bomb maps together into one singular, awesomely huge map, including the new Golova map, which could be really fun. Or it could be like 5 different zombies experiences on 5 different Dirty Bomb maps. We don't exactly know, but it's just interesting that it's under the Warzone section. I don't know if you booted out of Warzone. You're probably going to boot it out of Cold War if I had to guess. There's a whole bunch of new dynamic contracts for this mode. It seems to spawn zombies in waves, kill a high-value target zombie, which looks like a mech. There's defend an objective, eliminate another team, stuff kind of like that, and it really reminds me of the dynamic Warzone contracts. It seems to be Treyarch's take on that. So it's going to be a super interesting mode. In Call of Duty, I don't think we've done a whole lot, just a little bit with zombies and vehicles, but definitely nothing of this scale except for the Halloween event. And I don't know, there were some pretty big zombies areas in Blackout as well. So I don't know, it'd be super cool. I wish we could put zombies bosses in Warzone. There's new zombie ammos mods. There's higher skill tiers now. You can upgrade your stuff even further. High value enemies to take down. And some of the new streaks and weapons that we're talking about, of course, are going to integrate with zombies. Multiplayer, getting 3 new game modes that 2 I could ignore. 1 I'm really interested in. We're getting gun game, which is always fun for a little bit, but not always going to have like the most staying power. I don't know. A gun game is just one of those things that should ship with the game. It should just always be there as like a great warm-up mode. Stockpile is coming. Stockpile is always kind of fun for a little bit. And then the one that's really interesting to me is multi-team hardpoint, which is coming later in the season. And I thought this would be like 4v4v4v4 or something, but it looks like it's going to be taking place on the Fireteam Dirty Bomb maps with 10 squads of 4 each fighting to singularly control the hill in one of those gigantic maps, which to me sounds like fun. I would love to fight 10 other teams over the hard point. It sounds sweaty. It sounds much more competitive than Fireteam Dirty Bomb is right now. And this is the kind of idea that I think that Black Ops Cold War is overdue for. I think this is the kind of thing that players want, and I really just want to see how this plays. In my opinion, it would probably be better without a whole lot of loot or armor or vehicles or that kind of stuff going on. Though if we didn't have that, I have a feeling there'd be an issue with people just sitting and sniping into the hill in order to stack up their kill streaks, so maybe no streaks too. I'd like for it to be competitive and less kind of like random who gets the helicopter first, like current Fireteam Dirty Bomb, but it does sound overall very, very fun. Moving along, there is a new Death Machine score streak added into the game. I think we all kind of expected this one, especially from the trailer. It's just a minigun that you can pick up and hose people with. Nothing really incredible about it, nothing that we haven't experienced before. The Death Machine is going to be available in Zombies 2. I do not know if it's going to be available in Fireteam Dirty Bomb or Warzone. I mean, Warzone already has its own minigun going on, so we'll have to kind of see about that one. Dogs are not coming, but they have been teased in a sense. In one of the character artworks, you can see a big, gnarly attack dog that looks a lot like the dogs from Black Ops 3 that we had. Well, the dog in the art, I should mind you, for Nomad. And it's just kind of like, I think the dogs are in the code. People have been talking about that, so I'm assuming this is like a cute little teaser for the community that dogs are coming soon. And there's, of course, still the hand cannon from multiplayer, which you can pick up in the Soviet, like KGB headquarters mission and use, but it's not in multiplayer yet, so I'm assuming that's coming eventually. They're adding 2 new vehicles to the game, a sedan, which looks like a regular old, like 1980s family wagon, cheapo car, like sedan that you just drive around like an old beater, like we're playing PUBG now, and a regular Jeep. They've got slightly different names, but it's a Jeep and a sedan, and it seems to be taking Warzone, or at least Fireteam Dirty Bomb, in a more PUBG-esque kind of way with civilian vehicles. And finally, let's talk about Warzone Verdansk. There's a new gigantic point of interest in Verdansk. They're updating the map by adding a ship in the water. You can actually see it in the trailer approaching the island. It looks like it's going to anchor just south of the prison somewhere. And this is kind of the big one for Warzone Verdansk, like a whole new area that you can go and explore high value loot. I'm really hoping that it has a lot of boats or choppers or a ramp or a zip line or something that I can use to get on and off the boat easily, because unlike Blackout, where I could just swim if I wanted to, I'll die instantly if I touch the water in regular Warzone Verdansk. So I don't know how they're going to manage that, but it could still be fun. And they have teased a lot of other secret points of interest coming too, and map updates that where I guess we're just supposed to explore and find out. I have a feeling they're going to be much more minor than other things. It wouldn't surprise me if there were new Easter eggs as well, because included in the teasers about the new points of interest is all this vague text about something's happening underground, spooky things in Verdansk, explore at your own risk. So I'm assuming it's another Verdansk x Zombies related sort of minigame or crossover. There's an exfiltration game mode where you can automatically win by holding the radio to call your helicopter, which it's almost like Oddball or like Hot Potato. You're going to get a lot of attention trying to hold that and win. And then finally in Warzone, we're getting Warzone Rebirth Resurgence Extreme. A little bit of a mouthful right there, but it's the Rebirth Island Resurgence playlist with 90 players. So right now it's 40, I believe. It's going to go up to 2.25x higher. It's going to go up to 90 players, and each one of those players is going to have 3 lives, so there's going to be at least 180 lives total on the map. And if you include some buybacks and stuff, you're looking at 200 total potential enemies to kill, which is insane. And I have a feeling that this one is designed almost exclusively for sweaty competitive Twitch streamers and tournaments and stuff like that, so that they can play and like really crank those kill counts super high in this mode. But to me, it just sounds like a frustrating and chaotic thing. I'll certainly try it, but I have a feeling I'm just going to get swarmed by pistol boys every single time I wipe a squad. Well guys, that is all for this news video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.